Hey everybody, this is Mark with Slower Lower RC, and this is going to be my next quad build. This is Impulse RC Mr. Steele Edition, the lightweight Mr. Steele Edition, the Apex Dead Cat. I got this Dead Cat here, a Sector 5, but it's got these real like chunky motors, and it's not the smoothest flying. I mean, it's nice, it's got GPS and everything, and I got it because the Dead Cat style, the cameras, it's wider in the front right here, so your props are out of your camera and your GoPro. So it's good for like cinematics, but this thing is just so damn, it's jumpy. And it doesn't really fly real nice. I mean, you can freestyle with it and it's fun, but I need something that's more balanced. Because I'm flying the Demibot and that thing is just sick. So I want a Dead Cat that's sick as well. So I'll be opening this in a minute. Now I'm going to run kind of a mild stack, the Xylo stack, same one I put in the Demibot. It's 45 amp. The ESC is F4 flight controller. I mean, it's smooth. I mean, I like the one in the Demibot. I got the Cadix camera here, the Battelle 2. I'm using this in a couple of them. They're nice cameras. Now this is what's going to be awesome. I got a couple awesome things in this build. I'm going to put in the Fox here. It's going to be analog, but it's really powerful. Nice big antenna. I don't know if I'll use that all the time or not. So adapters. I think that's power supply for the VTX. Plus it gets like noise out, so it's nice and clear. Now this is what's going to be cool. This is a Gorilla Link ELRS, and it's a newer company. These guys are like, this thing's supposed to like be like Crossfire pretty much, but ELRS. Supposed to have good penetration, sick range. Now the 2.4 gigahertz I'm using, ELRS is good, but if you don't have nothing blocking you, but when you get behind something, it's kind of weak, and the Crossfire is stronger. This is supposed to be strong like the Crossfire, have good penetration and like sick range. And I think this is just a receiver. Oh, this is cool too. Just like on the Crossfire, this has the diversity antennas too for long range and penetration. So this is going to be a sick build. It's going to be epic. So let's jump into this. Alright, so got all that crap cleaned up, so I'm going to bust into this thing right here. Alright, so I've been making some progress. If you go to Impulse RC's website, or actually okay, so I've been making some progress. Okay, I've been making progress on this thing, slowly but surely. If you go to Impulse RC's, it's not their website, I just googled the manual and it gave me the Apex, the regular freestyles manual to put this thing together, the build. And between that and Mr. Steele's video on YouTube, it's gotten me to this point. It's not super hard, it's a little tedious, and that's where your stack goes right there. It's got two plates, it kind of gets sandwiched like that. A couple more bolts. That's the front here, that's where your camera goes. That's where your VTX. flight controller ESC goes right there. And so I got some standoffs, and then this piece goes on top. So I'm going to do a little bit more work, and I'll be back in a second. So there it is, pretty much all together. Camera goes right there in the front. Pretty sweet little frame. So now I'm gonna start on the electronics. Just wanted to show you guys before I get all this all soldered up how much of a pain in the ass putting these together is, but it is also fun as hell doing it and figuring it out. So I quite enjoy doing this. It's very tedious, but I like doing it. So anyway, there is our camera, there is our capacitor. This will be hooked up to our main power input pad right there, which I will be hooking up XT60, one of these guys, using these cables here to right there, the main pads, and soldering in that wires to that cap. Probably end up putting that cap right there next to the receiver. Receiver antennas go there. This is our video transmitter, and it will have a antenna sticking out the back transmitting a video signal down to your goggles. The ESC is right here, and this is our flight controller. And I don't have the motors yet. They should be here Monday, a couple days. So just wanted to show you real quick. I'm getting ready to start soldering this thing up. Alright, this is the fun stuff here. You can see I got my soldering iron, got my little one here, got it hooked up to a 6S battery. That's because I can get the voltage up to 25 volts. My 110 plug, it only goes up to 19 volts. I like to get it nice and hot. You can see there's the ESC. These little pads here are where the motors go. I got to tin these. These are your batteries here. And I'll flip it around and I'll tin those, but that's what I'm getting ready to do. I got a pretty small tip on there, but just wanted to show you what I'm getting ready to do. Alright, this little guy right here is our power conditioner. We're going to run our positive and negative directly off of the pads on the ESC, and this is going to be powering the video transmitter. It kind of cleans everything up, gives it a constant voltage, no spikes, no noise. So that's what I'm getting ready to do here. Now you got to, for 12 volts, you got to solder this little pad here together. And there's like 4 pads on the other side we're going to be tinning. So I've got a couple of these motors mounted on here. I just wanted to show you these little skids that come with the Mr. Steele kit. And they're not your normal carbon, not carbon fiber, 3D printed. It's a harder plastic. And it's got your little motor guards with his little mustache on them. And these are the Mr. Steele Ethics stout motors, the V4s. Supposed to be real nice, have a nice low end torque. But so I got the little covers on here, and I'll tape that up better. It's just on there for now. And I gotta take these wires here, and they basically go right there. Gotta cut these down, cut them back, tin them, fasten them in all nice and neat, and do that with all 4 motors. And I don't know if you noticed, but I turned the ESC around so that the power is on the front. I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way, but we'll see. Alright, so what I'm doing here is you've got 3 motor wires per motor, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3 little ports here. You can get them reversed and everything and fix all that in Betaflight, but it's just easier to put them all in order like that. Just give them a little bit of slack. Then I'm going to cut these back, tin them, and solder them here. And the same with these. You just lay them out, cut the length, cut them back, tin them, solder them in. I'm going to solder in my little capacitor here, and then we're going to hook this thing up to Betaflight and get our motors and ESC talking to the flight controller and do a little bit of programming. Alright, that is one side done, and we got one side to go. All the motor wires are soldered in. I've got the capacitor soldered. That's all kind of temporary, but it's soldered. The receiver soldered in. I've already bound it. It's already bound. I mean, the bind phrase was flashed, so it's as soon as I turned it on, it just connected. So all that's working. So what I'm getting ready to do is go hook this up to Betaflight. I'm going to update the firmware in the flight controller, program some stuff, get my motor direction correct, maybe update the rates, and the only thing I should be left having to do is the VTX after I get everything else set up. So I'm going to go do that. Okay, so I've been on the computer. I've got the VTX is all programmed. I downloaded all the charts. I updated it. I got it talking to the flight controller. No problems. It's working correctly. Camera's working correctly. I gotta figure out where in the world I'm gonna put that voltage regulator and that receiver and these great big old antennas and that great big old antenna. Now this is like a long range antenna. I can put a short one on there that, trust me, it's still got plenty of power, but that's just a long range one. But everything's programmed and it's all working correctly. It's all updated. Everything's perfect so far on Betaflight anyway. So now I gotta figure out how to finish fitting everything everywhere, and the next time you see this thing, it should be all together. Alright, she is all done. I got it all buttoned up. I took her outside and just did a hover test because it is almost dark out, but I hovered her around and everything is working perfectly. Keep our fingers crossed. I'm running the these Ethics Lemon Lime S4s, I think. Never used them before. We'll see how they work. I used the S5s. They work fine. So you can see this is turned out to be a pretty sweet build. I didn't know how I was going to get everything in there, but it all fit. See, I got the diversity antennas. I am running 900 megahertz ELRS on this. Supposed to have really good penetration, good long range, very comparable to the Crossfire system. So we'll see. Alright, I might give you a little sneak peek, a little sneaker peeker on what she looks like flying, but not tonight.